Black Friday is just a few days away, and that means it's a great time to find a sweet deal on a new CPU. But it can be hard to tell which CPUs have the best price to performance once pricing changes. So today I wanted to share this spreadsheet that I made. I've separated out the data into 4 main categories. That'll be single core, multi-core, power efficiency, and gaming performance. What I'm going to be doing in this video is looking at each category, finding the best performers in each of them, and then recommending an overall list of the best CPUs of 2023. Keep in mind that as I go through these categories, pricing data can change at any time. And so for the latest data, definitely check out the spreadsheet that I've linked in the description. So starting off with single core performance, at the top end, we have the 13900K. This is kind of a no-brainer. The 14900K is a little bit better than it, but it's also quite a bit more expensive. In the next performance tier, surprisingly, we have the 7600X, where it performs pretty closely to all of the i7s and Ryzen 7s, but it's priced way lower than all of these. Kind of becomes the obvious choice once you plot it out on a graph like this. One more step below that, we have the 12600K, which is still a pretty decent option if you don't want to spend too much. And right below that, we have the 12100, which has pretty good single core performance if you're really on a budget. Okay, so now on to multi-core performance, which is a good metric for you if you care about conventional productivity performance. So something like video editing or rendering, these kinds of tasks will benefit greatly from just raw synthetic multi-core performance. Again, at the top of the charts, we have the 13900K. As we drop down the performance ladder, we're gonna have a lot of great options at all different price points. Going down the list, we have the 13700K, 12900K, and 12700K. I would say the 12900K isn't as good of an option in terms of value compared to something like the 13700K or even 12700K, but it is kind of a midpoint between the two in terms of pricing as of now. So if it fits within your budget, it's still a pretty good choice. If you're looking for entry-level productivity performance, go with the 12600K. If you really want to go for multi-core performance, I would avoid anything below the 12600K since the performance drops off pretty rapidly, so you're not going to be getting quite as much value even though the pricing is lower. Up next is power efficiency, and this is where the script is flipped with AMD dominating this performance category. On the high end, we have the 7950X3D, which delivers outstanding multi-core performance despite only drawing half the power of similar contenders like the Core i9s. Its younger brother, the 7900X3D, is also a great option for the same reason. It performs similarly to the high-end Core i7s, but at almost half of their power draw. Moving down the stack, I would pick the Ryzen 9 7900. It delivers pretty great multi-core performance, almost as much as the 7900X, but at a fairly lower power draw and at a pretty good price. Now I do want to highlight some honorable mentions. The 7950X and the 7900X, while they're not the most power efficient for their performance tier, they are going to be a lot more affordable than their X3D counterparts. On a similar note, the Ryzen 7 7700 also deserves an honorable mention since it's priced a fair bit lower than the other options while delivering pretty decent performance and power efficiency. I'm also working on a GPU version of this spreadsheet, and I'll be publishing a video on that later this week, so if you don't want to miss it, be sure to subscribe. Finally, let's look at gaming. For gaming performance, I'm going to be focusing on 1080p since it's going to better show us the differences between each CPU, but if you're interested in 1440p data, that's going to be in the spreadsheet linked below. I will say though, the 1440p data won't change my recommendations as of recording this video. I think this is pretty common knowledge at this point, but in case you didn't know, the 7800X3D completely dominates in gaming. Moving down the performance ladder, we have the Ryzen 5 5800X3D and the Core i5 13600K. These two will trade blows with each other depending on if you're looking for more gaming performance and power efficiency with the 5800X3D, or if you're looking for multi-core productivity performance with the 13600K. One step below that, we have the Ryzen 5 7600. I'm not going to be recommending the 7600X because at this price point, if we try to factor in a third-party cooler, the pricing difference becomes pretty large between these two, and the 7600 comes with a cooler. It's pretty close in gaming performance, so it's going to be a much better value. Now, for gaming on a tight budget, go with the Ryzen 5 5600. You might be a little bit confused. This chart shows the 13100 and 12100 outperforming it in gaming, but that is because the game performance for these CPUs is based on their synthetic single core performance. In real world benchmarks, we see the 5600 solidly outperforming these. Now that we've gone over the top contenders for each category, I'm going to be recommending the best overall CPUs. Starting from the bottom, we have the Ryzen 5 5600 for budget gaming. For entry-level mixed use, which will be a balance between gaming and productivity, go with the 12600K paired with DDR4. For entry-level to mid-tier gaming, go with the Ryzen 5 7600. For entry-level to mid-tier mixed use, go with the 12700K paired with DDR5. For mid-tier mixed use, go with the 13600K paired with DDR5. For absolute ultimate gaming, go with the 7800X 3D. For mid-tier efficiency, go with the Ryzen 9 7900. For upper level productivity performance, go with the 13700K with DDR5. For upper level efficiency, go with the Ryzen 9 7900X 3D. And for absolute ultimate efficiency, go with the 7950X 3D. And if you really just want to go for ultimate power all around, go with the 13900K paired with DDR5. You can find all of these starter kits in my PC Part Picker profile. It's going to be linked in the description. If you have a question or you're looking for a specific recommendation, feel free to leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out the GPU version of this video. Thanks for watching.